Hello, everybody. Millennium X17. As you can see, we're still in Vegas. Tonight is Monday night, the 25th. We're leaving tomorrow morning. So it's been an awesome weekend. This is just going to be it's going to be a quick video recapping some of my thoughts on the reason why we came to Vegas was the Monster Jam World Finals. Sorry for this camera angle is weird or something. I'm just holding it here in the room. As you see, I just showed you out the window. Monster Jam World Finals 14 for 2013. Overall, I'm glad we went. It was awesome. We had great seats. Maybe not the best, but they were pretty solid. The stadium was packed. Packed solid, full. I think it was sold out, if I can remember correctly. So you know what? The pit party. If you want to get the double down, which from now on moving forth is going to be on Thursday, they're moving to a 3-day event. I would say if you get the double down, show up early for the pit stuff that day, and then the rest of the days it's the same. We didn't know about the track walk, so we missed that. That happened as we were just like 30 minutes after we showed up, or before we showed up. We showed up 30 minutes after that. What I meant to say, something to the effect of, you'll get it. The pit activity is pretty cool. There's a lot to see. There's autograph sessions that fill up very quickly. Like some of the higher end drivers like Mentz and Anderson, they cut those off at a certain time. I would say there's probably they don't want to have 400 or 500 people signing autographs for 4 or 5 hours. It's probably not exactly enjoyable, one can assume, but the pit party is awesome. After you see it the first day, you've pretty much seen everything unless you missed something specific, in which case you can whittle it down. Pretty awesome stuff, though. They got an entertainment area with the Robosaurus and a bunch of other crazy stuff with BMX and pocket bikes and Trials bike, which we actually managed to miss on all occasions. Kind of upset because I like Trials a lot. And what else was there? There was, freestyle motocross, which was pretty good. They had a freestyle quad guy there. It was really good. It was pretty awesome. The event itself, Saturday night. What I'll say is racing. There was a couple of things that were I would bring into question. You can call me on being a little conspiracy theorist, but there's a couple of trucks that shut down that the RAI got tripped for no reason, and it was just a little too convenient. Now, you can call it conspiracy theory if you want, but there's a difference between safety and having relatively unknowns, I would guess you would call them, beating some of the bigger names, and then suddenly their truck shuts down. Really? Specifically, I'm looking at Todd LeDuc got shut down against Bounty Hunter, who was Bounty Hunter's engine was popping and fizzling and farting and doing all kinds of. Jimmy Cretin blew it. Almost didn't make it to the line the next round. And then also blew it up during that race against Bowie Masauer in the next round, which I believe was the third round. It was the round before the semifinals, whatever round that was. That pisses me off when the officials allow the Anderson and the Mentzes, and yes, I understand they've been there for years and they've earned a certain level of trust with the officials, but if you're going to shut somebody down for some reason, you need to do that to everybody. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people like that get shut down for little to no reason. LeDuc and Metal Militia's truck during racing, there was nothing wrong with it. They just shut down, and he coasts, and Jimmy Cretin wins with, ugly, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But it's a difference winning the round when you got it handed to you, basically. So there's that. The racing, however, what I'll say was refreshing was that the championship round was between Adam Anderson and Gravedigger the Legend and Mark McDonald and El Toro Loco, which was actually pretty awesome because I believe it was Mark Schrader came over the announcement before the race started up. It was like, we've got a new champion. And I cannot tell you how refreshing that is. It's just, in years past, it's always been Mentz for the X number of championship and this individual in the left lane who's never won a championship. And anyone who's ever watched the World Finals for any length of time knows that the left lane in Sam Boyd Stadium has always been a little suspect, and that's unfortunate. However, this year they tried something weird and different. When we were there during the Friday night pre-show, or maybe not the pre-show, it was the Young Guns and the practice and qualifying for the big show. They explained that they were they were putting down this white stuff on the track, and I asked my father what he thought that was, and he said he thought it was like lime or something like that to keep the dust down, but it wasn't. They actually came over the loudspeaker and explained it was like this kind of glue type of compound that they were putting down on the dirt. It was like specially engineered dirt. Like, the stupid thing that they said over the loudspeaker was that it was biologically engineered dirt, which, try not to think about that, or your head will just explode. Just go with it. It's the best way to... It's just dirt with a lot of chemicals and glue and such put into the track to try to make it better. What I'll say is that for the racing, the left lane seemed to be after first pair of rounds after trucks had been running on it, it seemed to clean up pretty well, especially compared to past years, so that was actually really good. Adam Anderson, Gravedigger Legend, won out of the left lane, so, I mean, it's not too bad. But the problem that I bring this up now is that it just, between this dirt that was so hard and sticky and the track layout itself, it's more than half I'm going to not going to lie, I'm not going to softball you with this one. The freestyle kind of sucked. It really did. I'm like, that was the thing that I was really looking forward to, and it just, it had more than half the trucks came out and flipped over within the first 30 seconds. Now, obviously, my favorite, Jim Kohler, an Avenger, he did it to himself. That was entirely his fault. It's like Chad Fortune, I think Captain America, caught a box truck in a wrong way and it ripped out the rear end, and kind of did it to himself, kind of not really his fault. But a lot of the trucks that come out, I'm going to be interesting to see how they spin this on Speed TV when they air it in May, which that fucking Speed TV, they never air anything in a timely manner, or for that matter in sequential order. But anyway, more than half the field flipped over within the first 30 seconds. Like, big names, Lupe, Charlie Pauken, a couple of the others, Nicole Johnson came out and flipped, and just the weird layout of the track where they had the big jump in the center, there the two racing lanes on either side, and then there were like four like islands, if you will, at each corner of each, two on each side of the racing plateaus, and there was this strip of land that, they built up to, you have to hit it in 15 different directions or what have you, that if you didn't land perfectly either in that little channel or on the tabletop, it pitched the truck and it flipped over more than 10 trucks just from that fact alone. And it's a little unfortunate they got to over-engineer it. But then the other problem was, like, Nicole Johnson, she got into a weird situation where it flipped it over, but it still had a tire on the ground, and she got on the throttle, full throttle, right off the top, exactly what you're supposed to do. And that one wheel just couldn't spin. It was slipping in the clutch, I'd imagine. It just so hard and sticky that it couldn't spin the wheel. Had the wheel been under normal dirt, been spinning, it would have whipped the truck back upright, and it would have been an amazing save. And that would have been great, but it's just the way they threw in so much chemicals and glue and other bullshit into the dirt that it made it so hard and sticky that they kept flipping. George Bellhand goes down to the far end, and he kind of did it to himself, and he's got, I believe he's running the new Ukraine tires, but he goes down to the far end of the track and turns around too quickly, and it just pitches him over. It's so super sticky, and it just, for racing, I say it was a good thing. For freestyle, it was not a good thing. It definitely hurt the trucks in a long way. So I'm hoping next year, it's supposed to be Thursday nights, the double down night with the Young Guns, and it's also supposed to be Friday nights, then the racing, and then Saturday night is the freestyle. And I'm hoping that Friday night for the racing, they can put that chemicals and shit down and go crazy with them and make the left lane actually work in Sandboyd Stadium, that's worth its weight in gold, because that left lane's always been suspect in previous years. But then they're supposed to truck in, bulldoze it over and truck in new dirt and build a nice crazy freestyle only course for Saturday night. So hopefully the chemicals will only be on racing and not on freestyle. Hopefully that there will be enough feedback from the fans that let everybody, at the Monster Jam know that that was just a bad idea altogether. It just it really caused more problems than it was worth, even though it made the racing really great.